It is a pleasure and thank you very much for joining us on yet another episode of My Perspective. This is a segment that focuses on the 5 core domains of life and the things that cause an effect on the way we look at things, on the way that we function. My name is Fred Makubuya. I am a clinical psychologist by profession. I am a certified coach, and that means part of the work I do is to help young people to discover who they are and become the best versions of themselves. But also on the side of profession, I find myself on a day-to-day basis having conversation with people who are going through difficult and trying moments, issues like depression, issues like anxiety, issues like stress that happens in the different age brackets. I wish to thank those of you who are following us and making this to be part and parcel of your program. So today's perspective will focus on earnings. A few months ago, I had the privilege to moderate 2 important events in this country. One was organized by the Private Sector Foundation, together with the Uganda Manufacturers Association, together with the Uganda Small Scale Industries Association. And so one of my colleagues in the profession called me and told me, Fred, but you are a clinical psychologist. Our job is to deal with the people who are sick. So why are you doing all those things? I simply listened to him. I did not respond to him because I knew and understood that he has not come to be in touch with the realities of the things that are happening. But I also realized it was an issue to do with mentorship. It was an issue to do with coaching. It was an issue that needed to address a number of things. After that while, I got the other opportunity to moderate another function still organized by the Uganda Manufacturers Association. He simply saw the same post and asked me, but look at the things you are doing. This is not in line with the things that we have been taught. It is not in line with our principles. It is not in line with the core issues that we are supposed to do. Fred, you are off track. You should be in hospitals like Butabika. You should be in Mulago. You should be able to do this and this and this. That is for other people. Maybe you have done business courses. Probably those are things for the journalist. I took time to listen to him. I became empathetic. I understood him. But I made sure I went silent because I knew he never understood the world I came from. Today's perspective will focus partly on the kind of people that hold similar perspective about life, but also it will emphasize on some of the other key aspects through which you and I can be able to garner up resources and be able to become people of difference in the different things that we do. The first aspect I want to talk about in response to my colleague in relation to how we earn is that each one of us may have a profession. You could be trained as a teacher. You could be trained as a clinical psychologist, like the way I am. You could be a counseling psychologist. You could be an organization psychologist. You could be a veteran journalist. You could be a law don. You could be an economist in a particular field, or you could be a specialist in a particular area. So one of the areas through which you earn money, or one of the areas through which you are able to bring bread on table is your profession. So probably my colleague who gave me such a comment, his understanding tells her that you can only earn money, you can only earn a living, you can only bring bread on table, you can only support your family through your profession. That is absolutely not true. It is true we are able to bring bread on table, we are able to change our lives, we are able to change society using profession. In other words, my first area of earning is through my profession. When I meet people for my therapy sessions, they pay for those sessions. So I am bringing in money from the profession point of view. When I have an opportunity to go through people, to train people in line with my area of understanding, my area of specialization, then I am earning through what we call my profession. The question is, other than your academics, other than your profession, where else can you be able to bring bread on table? Where else can you be able to get resources that will sustain you and family? Where else can you be influential or profitable in the different arenas of life other than your profession. The profession is very key. Actually, it is important that I address this. One of the reasons that have caused unemployment in our country called Uganda is for people to think that they can only survive and thrive through their profession. If I trained as a teacher, I can only bring bread on table through teaching. If I am studied to be a lawyer, I can only bring on table through my legal profession. If I have done clinical psychology, I can only earn through my profession. If I have gone to school and have studied economics, I can only earn through economics. Absolutely, that is a total lie. And the reason why many of us have become stagnant, the reason why many of us have become financially incapacitated is because we think other than the profession, there are no other avenue through which we can be able to earn money and cause an impact in us. Remember, when we don't have the financial muscles, some other aspects of life will be hindered. And that's when mental health issues begin to emerge. Because if you are a man and you can't pay rent, if you are a man, you can't bring bread on table, if you are a man and your child has a need, that needs addressed by you, a parent, and you don't have the resources, it means you are going to find life a bit challenging. And so when you begin to think of the other loan you took, when you begin to think of the bank coming, when you begin to think the month is ended, when you begin to think that, oh, I must pay tuition, but remember you're only basing on the academic aspect, it literally means you are going to get into a state where you cannot think, or if you're thinking, you are thinking negative. And if you are thinking boldly, you are thinking of probably abusing drugs so that you think that you will be able to forget the problems. So fundamentally, I am here to address and share my thoughts on what is it, where else can we be able to earn a living? Where else can we be able to cause impact in our lives? Where else can I be able to earn something so that at the end of the day, I can be of impact? I am not here to share things I am not doing. I am here to share things that I partly and practically do as a person. So academically, you are a teacher, please go ahead and teach. You are a journalist, please go ahead and share your journalistic principles. You are a lawyer, go ahead and deliberate in court. Go ahead and make sure that we have justice, because that is what you are trained to do. Other than your profession, what else can you be able to do? I want to address about 5 other areas through which we are able to make sure that we cause a financial impact in our day-to-day life. Number 1, I've talked about your profession. You can earn using your profession. Number 2, there is something called a skill. Some of you are trained in skills like communication. Some of you are trained in skills like mobilization. Some of you are trained in skills like public speaking and presentation management. When you have an opportunity to speak before people, you are eloquent, you are influential, you are able to cause happiness even amidst those who are unhappy. When you stand before people and begin to speak, you are able to speak sense and you are able to turn people's rounds around. When you have an opportunity to stand before people, you are able to challenge people in the different core domains of life. You are able to challenge people into thinking. You are able to challenge people into innovation. You are able to challenge people into the different aspects of life. In other words, using your skill, you can be able to bring bread on table. Are you able to speak? Probably go ahead and do a course in public speaking and presentation management. I personally did that training, and I do it on a daily basis. Please go ahead and do it so that you can be able to improve on your skill. So that if somebody has been inviting you and giving you 50,000, he will know that your skills have actually advanced. So please go ahead and advance the skill so that at the end of the day you can be able to get a check beyond 1 million. Some of us have been able to get that check of moderating an event for 2 hours, and you are able to get a check for 1 million and plus. Why? Because of the skills, and because of the skills that we have developed on a day-to-day basis. Abamu kumwe musobola okwogerera emikolo gy'embaga. Let me tell you, if you don't know, I've personally gone through wedding events. The person who moderated an event called Sir Simon Muyanga Lutaya, he's my friend, he's my mentor. He only charged me the money he charged me because he's a colleague, but I paid him. The point I am driving home is that these are some of the skills that you can be able to develop and be able not only to cause an impact to you and your family, but also cause an impact. Go and ask people who manage emikolo gy'okwanjula, the wedding and cultural events. They're paid hundreds and hundreds of money because of the skill. Ask the guys who moderate corporate events in our country, When governments have corporate events, it's not the President of the Republic of Uganda who moderates it. No, it is actually somebody called a moderator from a particular area who comes and does the moderation. Why? Because that is a skill that people have developed. Can I challenge you that you can be able to cause an impact through your profession? That's number one. But you can also be able to cause an impact in your life, family, and society through using your skill. So are you good at talking? Are you good at communicating? Are you good at mobilization skills? Can you be able to garner together all those skills, put them together, and let the public know that you are able to communicate, you are able to speak, you are able to mobilize? That will earn you bread on table. So the skill is another aspect through which you and I can be able to earn a living in our day-to-day life. Number three is something that people hate. But I can tell you, whether you like it or not, this has become part of us. We have some of the things called the vocational aspect of life. We are looking at things like baking. We are looking at things like mending shoes. We are looking at things like tailoring. We are looking at aspects of jobs that people despise. I can guarantee you and let you know that if you never mind simply look into your house, you either have a pair of shoes. Who made that shoe? It was made by a cobbler. Did he go to school? Yes, he could have gone to school, but he may not have gone to school, but that is part and parcel of your household. Look at the shirts, the trousers you have. They could have been tailored by somebody who has either gone to school or not gone to school. Does anyway that matter whether you went to school? Yes, it matters. But also, if you've not had an opportunity to go to school, but at the end of the day, you have been able to put all these skills together and put them on table. The cakes you consume on a day-to-day basis. I run business as my other side income. And I see people consuming cakes. Who bakes these cakes? I see people consuming bread on a daily basis. So who bakes the bread? I see people buying yogurt on a day-to-day basis. So who prepares all these? These are prepared by either people who have either gone to school or they've not gone to school. But bottom line, these are things that people make on a day-to-day basis that have been able to cause an impact. So you can cause an impact, financial impact in the profession using your skill, using your vocation. I talked about the skill of communicating, public speaking and presentation management. Please go ahead and develop that skill. That will bring you bread on table. It will be able to cause an impact in our day-to-day life. Let me talk about, last but not least, something called publication. I have met many people in this country. One time I had an opportunity to speak to one of my lecturers in Makerere, and I told him, Doctor, God has blessed you with the knowledge. He has blessed you with the wisdom. Why can't you put this wisdom into writing? I have gone through conferences and people are speaking, my goodness. They are speaking sense. They are speaking words of wisdom. They are speaking power. They are speaking knowledge. They are speaking words that can cause impact in the lives of people. And I have challenged them and told them, why don't you put them into writing? So that if you are in Kampala, somebody on the boundary of Chisolo can be able to read your book. Somebody in Moroto can be able to read your book. Somebody in Arua can be able to read your book. Somebody in the States can be able to read your book, especially when you put it both online and even manual. And so I have challenged people. One time when I shared this with somebody, told me, but people no longer read books. Of course, I never went ahead with this discussion because I knew now this is, yes, she could have had a point, but I knew now this is another pessimistic person that I must not continue with the discussion. So publication, many of us are gifted with the skills. You have probably studied something and you think it is important, it is significant for the public consumption. Go ahead and put it in writing. When you put something in writing, you are not only causing an impact to self, but you're also causing influence to the lives of other people, because people will be able to read about you, people will be able to read about your knowledge, people will be able to share your knowledge and understanding. If people can quote the Nelson Mandelas who are normal, okay, because of the statements that they made many years ago, what about if you put this into writing? When you put it into writing, it means you have caused an impact. But at the end of the day, when you put a book out, then you are able to earn a living out of it. That may not be the primary reason. And that did prompt me to write books. I have written books about the adolescent stage, a book that talks about the things that young people should be able to know as they transition through the stage of adolescence. In that same book, I challenge parents on the things that they should be able to follow up, but I also challenge the public on the core things that they're supposed to put into practice. Those books are already out. You could reach out to them. You could reach out to our officer and probably have a copy. And finally, as I draw towards the end of this episode, you yourself can be a point of contact in causing financial impact. When you begin to work on self, when you begin to discover who you are, when you begin to develop who you are, discover the skill, develop the skill, either go for a training, go and be part of a trainer. It could be a mentor, it could be a coach, but be part of somebody who will be able also to help you pull up your skills, pull up or whatever you have, so that at the end of the day, you can be somebody who can be a person of influence. And lastly is about your network. I have discovered as a person throughout my year of working and engaging with people that there is nothing powerful in life than having a network of people that impacts your life. Some of us have been able to get opportunities to share what we think because of the network. Some of us have been able to get to particular positions because of the network. Some of us have reached out to people in this country who are important because of the network. Some of us have been able to change our financial life because of the network. Do you also know that you can start up a business with little capital, but because of the network you can have, people can supply with commodities and pay them later? That is as a result of network. When we have a team of people around us, people of value, people of valor, people who are understanding, people who are alive to the key factors that determine life, you can be able to cause a transformation not only in your life and family, but also in the 5 core domains of life. I would like to challenge you through using this episode that thank you, you have gone to school and you have qualified as a profession in your career. That is key and that is fundamental. That can bring you bread, but it's not the only avenue through which you can use to bring bread on table. You can use your skill to make sure that you bring bread on table, okay? Through communication. You can use your vocational skills. Maybe you can bake a cake. Go ahead and bake cake. You can make bread. Go ahead and do it. You can make yogurt. Please go ahead and use it. Use those skills because they are key and fundamental. Are you good at writing? Yes, if you have no idea but you have the passion, reach out to people, the mentors, the authors that have written many books so that they can be able. Reach out to colleagues around you in your association and different places so that they can sharpen you and make you better, so that at the end of the day, you can become a person of influence. Academics is very powerful in changing our lives, but it is not only the avenue through which can be able to bring bread on table. Your skill, your vocation, your public speaking skills, your publishing skills are very fundamental in making sure that you become a better person. Please subscribe to this channel so that you can be part of a generation that will be part of the people that will change their thinking and their understanding. Make a subscription, ring that bell so that you can be notified whenever there's something new coming up, but also make a comment. If you agree with me, please say yes and make a comment. But also if you disagree with me, that's very okay. Be very polite and say, Fred, I disagree with you based on the way I look at things. This is my perspective.